not only Florida who is pushing for change, not only Parkland, that it is everyone in America who is not just asking for change, but demanding it.
Exactly 1 month since a gunman killed 17 people at a Parkland, Florida school. Students across the country staging a walkout this morning. Now, the walkouts happened at 10 a.m. in each time zone.
It was a way for students to show support for those at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School and demand change from lawmakers. So this is video from Los Angeles, where students spelled out #enough on the football field. Meanwhile, in Parkland, Florida, students there say they are so happy to see students from across the country joining them in honoring the victims. To critics who are dismissing their actions, Parkland students say they all just wanted to be normal teenagers. Now they've been pushed into a call to activism because of what they've experienced.
We seem to forget that so many of the revolutions and movements that happened in America have started with, not high school students, but college students.
It doesn't just have to stop with us. We're the stepping stone for a much greater purpose.
Students in Parkland say they're encouraged today is a good lead up to March 24th, when many of them will be going to the nation's capital for the March for Our Lives event.
And Carmel High School allowed hundreds of students to walk into the school's field house for a 17-minute student-led demonstration. But some kids weren't satisfied with staying indoors. 24-hour News 8's Tim McNicholas is back from Carmel now. Tim, what happened there?
Well, Brenna, at least 3 students walked out of the building for about 20 minutes. One girl told me off camera doing a walkout indoors is hiding what happened to the Parkland students. The school did not allow reporters in until after the walkout. School leaders did send pictures and video.
For serious change.
With cheers and tears, sorrow and anger, more than 1,000 kids filled Carmel High's field house for about 17 minutes. 1 minute for each person killed in the Parkland shooting.
Today, we not only mourn those that died, but we demand action so that none of us have to go to school fearing for our lives ever again.
The school allowed students to attend if they had a signed permission slip from a parent. Freshman Isabella Falahi and junior Sophia Balches say they worked with school leaders to organize the event.
You put yourself in the shoes of the families, in the shoes of the friends that lost loved ones.
Falahi and Balches say they wanted to mourn the victims, and Falahi says she wants to pressure lawmakers to act on gun control. A school spokesperson says administrators called the parents of students who left the building, and the students were, quote, educated on the importance of school safety.
What we did inside was more effective than what they were probably doing outside. We got kids registered to vote. We got kids signed up to volunteer at the March for Our Lives.
They will be remembered, but they will never be forgotten. CHS says never again.
And the thousands of students who did not walk out continued their school day as planned. The student organizers say one of their main focuses in organizing this event was on safety. I'm Tim McNicholas, 24-hour News 8.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. A few miles away, another school walkout, this one in Noblesville. These are pictures of how students at the high school remembered the victims. Some walked out of class, gathered as a group, and held signs. One said, if not now, then when? Another said, no more school shootings. Another student made a banner honoring victims of school violence. We first showed you that banner yesterday before it was finished. Today, the school hung up the completed banner. It includes more than 500 names. Now, throughout the week, green empathy buttons will be awarded to students who promote unity and inclusion through social media posts, acts of compassion, and peer tutoring. Meanwhile, here in Indianapolis, students walked out of Heron High School. They gathered for a vigil, linking arms, holding hands, and even sharing hugs. Some held signs claiming enough is enough or never again. They also chanted, not one more. Students then showed pictures and told stories about the victims killed at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida.
I participated today because I believe that to create change, we need to first create unity, and from there we can grow. And so I feel as if the vigil was a great place for that, and it supported everyone so that we can, as Alina said, take the time to commemorate those lives that were lost, but from now we will move forward and fight for what we believe is right.
The vigil at Heron was hosted by the school's Human Rights Club.
IPS students also taking part in the national walkout. This picture is from Arlington High School. Students gathered outside by the school's flagpole holding signs and banners. And a powerful image from the Center for Inquiry School number 2. Students holding posters laid down. One sign read, "Fear has no place in schools." Posters were a popular theme across all schools today. This one from George Washington High School says one child is worth all the guns in the world. At Harshman Middle School, posters read, "Guns don't die, kids do," and "Don't protect guns, protect kids." Now, on this National Walkout Day, school safety was high on the agenda on Capitol Hill. The Senate held a hearing on the Parkland attack while the House voted on a school security funding bill. Some members of Congress even stood alongside student protesters. Karen Kafa has a look at the Walkout Day in Washington, D.C.
Learn from.
The House of Representatives passing a measure aimed at funding more security in schools.
On this vote, the yeas are 407, the nays are 10.
While students nationwide participated in walkouts, school shootings were high on the agenda for Congress. House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi was among lawmakers who joined students outside the U.S. Capitol.
No one's political survival is more important than the survival of our children.
Florida Senators Bill Nelson and Marco Rubio were among witnesses before a Senate hearing on the February 14th shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School and how to prevent future tragedies.
The one thing I believe we do have common ground on is I know of no one in this country who wants to see another community or another state endure such senseless violence.
In the wake of Parkland, a number of bills have been proposed, but action has been slow. President Trump has reiterated support for a bipartisan Senate bill to strengthen background checks. It was introduced after the November church massacre in Sutherland Springs, Texas, but has not seen a vote.
Look at the age.
But the president did not include raising the minimum purchase age for guns to 21 among his recent proposals. And gun control advocates say he bowed to outside pressure.
Well, we found out that he was afraid of the NRA. But are you afraid of the NRA?
So students also took their message to the White House in silence with their backs turned for 17 minutes, one for each of the Parkland victims. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
All right, Karen, thank you very much. Our coverage of the National Walkout Day continues online right now at wishtv.com. There you'll find photos and videos from demonstrations from schools across central Indiana.